Okay. All right. So, GT, why you got some mental stress tips here for you. Okay. So if you want to know more, look in the description or go to gottokens.com. You can find more information about that. And leave a comment in the comment section on whatever triggers you in this video here. So going over some mental stress tips, and these are tips that essentially I have found myself just in the last essentially 6 months. And a lot of this is due to the fact that I had essentially gone from not in the greatest type of mental state or condition due to a relationship that was quite psychologically abusive, but I went from essentially this to where I'm at today, which is about 6 months later, roughly coming up on the 7th month, and I'm going to go over a couple of the tips that have helped me progress in the recovery from this type of situation that I found myself in, and maybe you find yourself in. So tip number 1 is going to be strength training. So the reason that I categorize this as far as mental, because I look at what happens on mental illness as something that has came through the body through its lack of effort and use, and has become is seeping up into the mind, making the mind ill. So the majority of ourselves and our consciousness and our experience in this world is actually experienced 95% through the neck down. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so essentially from the neck down is the majority of the body. Now the mind can be overwhelmed by the body when it's not being used, but when the body is used every day, which is every 24-hour cycles, you put it under some stress load. It's going to change the metabolism as an organism. It's going to change the endocrine system, which is your hormonal system. If you're a man, testosterone. If you're a woman, estrogen. If you're hungry, it's ghrelin. And if you're full, it's leptin. So there's different hormone names and structures that we probably have out of whack through not using any sort of physical exertion. So strength training, number 1, is probably going to be the best way to increase your mental capacity to help as a dealing with stress, mental stress type of a tip, is to do 20 minutes. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're doing 0, but to do 20 minutes of maybe literally some planking, something as simple as that. But after a week, it needs to be planking plus another, plus maybe one more thing. It has to continuously go further. You have to, if it's not growing, it's dying, and so there's really not much room for middle ground. And that's essentially what has ended you up in this place where you have regressed so far that now your own mindset is being compromised in mental stress. Even though there's no stressors, real stressors around you, lions, cheetahs, tigers, physically demanding things, yet you feel like you're in a war zone because you've let it regress to this point to where it's so bad that it's seeping into your mindset, and you have to take that weaker mindset and begin trying to build anew and change. Okay? And what that daily challenge of strength training is going to do is it's going to allow you to be kinder to yourself by tomorrow, the next day. I did this, I'm going to do it again. I did this, I'm going to do it again. Wow. And then you'll slowly change, but it's going to allow you to be kinder to those around you. That's going to be a big one. It's going to be able to be much kinder to those around you once you actually are kind to yourself. The second one is going to be fasting. If you haven't done a fast in over 2 months, just do it right now. Just start breaking the tongue. This is what I call breaking the tongue. You're breaking it from these enhanced flavor, monosodium glutamate, and these things that when they go on your tongue, they actually stimulate more electricity in the brain. The nerves in the brain get excited. The prefrontal cortex up in the front. They get excited and electricity fires a lot more. Even though if you go and buy some real MSG from like maybe an Oriental market or some place where you can literally buy the stuff for $1 or $2 just to have it. It looks like methamphetamines in crystal form or crack, or it looks like something nobody should ever have. But you can go to some of these markets where people who own restaurants it's about the money. Like, it's up to you if you're going to eat it. Like, you're eating McDonald's knowing you shouldn't, and then you get the results you didn't want. You got to change it. Okay? So you have to break the tongue. That means getting rid of everything you can and just indulging in the pain of hunger. Indulge in that. And when it comes, it comes in waves. That's how these hormones feel. The best way to describe it is in waves. And you just got to ride these waves out. Maybe sip some bone broth so that your lining of your digestive tract can stay intact, and gut mucus, you'll have a gut mucosal layer still available. You don't destroy your linings of your soft tissues. So you want to break the tongue, and then when you're going to eat again, eat apples, bananas, grapes, carrots. Maybe start juicing. Get some carrots and juice them. Those are some of the most beneficial things for your organs and your vital systems. Okay? But you essentially want to live with a lower blood sugar lifestyle. You are mentally more stable, and psychologically, and everything's more healthy when your blood sugars don't go up like this, and then insulin and crash, and then your blood sugar goes up like this, and so, like, I have something where I can see that in real time because I like the data. I work in tech. So reading that is interesting, but I've already made these correlations about my body. I broke my spine when I was young. I've had erectile dysfunction. I've had where I can't move my arms and feet. I can't stand up. So my journey at age 19 was catapulted because I went from perfectly healthy, able to walk and stand, and had an active, sex life and all that stuff, to being stripped of being able to even walk, lay on the floor and piss in bottles for multiple months on end before I could ever stand up hunchback again. And I told myself, if I ever walk again, I'm going to effing run. So here I am running. Here I have gained this knowledge. Here I'm giving it to you for free. There's more. If you go to gottokens.com and take the $19.99 free product, you'll get the fast track to what I'm telling you about now. But it's critically important that once you've hit mental stress and you're now mentally, you can't even deal with your own thoughts, to get the gap and begin to use the body as a catalyst, because that's how we catapult the mind back into a healthier balance, okay? That the body is the catalyst to the mind. We affect things in and through the mind using the body. All right, I hope that helps. Peace.